You may remember him from the Michael Essany show on E! He was a teenager from Northwest Indiana hosting a late-night talk show from his parents' living room. He had a set and everything. You're on the Leno show. Now the new host of iFollo TV on iFollo.com. It's called the Anti-TMZ because real fans provide all the celebrity content.
But there's like a 50-year-old man trapped inside of you, Michael. I think Michael Essany here.
That sounds wrong. That sounds wrong. Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
I'm still fascinated because I remember getting a letter from him, don't you? When he was like 13, he's like, "Hey, I'm Michael," and he's like, "I'm 14. I'm doing a show from my basement." I couldn't believe it. When I was 14, what was I doing? Nothing
I know what
productive.
You were doing.
How did all that start?
I was doing social networking before the web had kind of made that so much easier. I spent years of my life writing letters by hand. But I learned to spell well. Don't have to rely on
But you got actual celebrities to come to your house.
We got a lot accomplished during those 7 years of the show.
How did you do? What were some of the big stars you had? How'd you do that?
We had Kevin Bacon and Ray Romano, and a lot of prominent people had come on the show over the years. We did it 5 years locally here in the Chicagoland area. Did it from Valparaiso, Indiana, and then 2 of those seasons were national on E! And now it's in reruns airing overseas.
So now you're out of college, married, have a brand new baby. Congratulations!
I do, a 3-month-old baby girl. Thank you.
How did this start? How did they find you to host this gig, and what do you do on this website?
Well, iFollo TV is the first program I've hosted since the Michael Essany show wrapped a few years ago, and what was very cool about it and coming on board was the fact that it sort of represents the next evolutionary step in citizen journalism or social media, and that all of our content is based on real fans with real encounters with real celebrities. And you alluded to the anti-TMZ reference, and I think that's pivotal because we don't use any paparazzi gleaned content. We don't pay for news stories, submissions, photos,
but doesn't the name kind of insinuate that you want people to follow around celebrities and kind of stalk them to get a picture?
We don't want them to. They do already. You know, there's such a fascination with celebs that this site sort of lends naturally to that curiosity.
Okay.
All right, our first story is about Michael Jordan.
There's a lot of great stories about Michael Jordan on iFollo. This one in particular is set in Santa Barbara, California. Some time ago, Michael was golfing at Rancho San Marcos, and his caddy, I believe, shared this story with us. Michael was golfing, had some extra golf balls, needed them stowed away in his case. Caddy goes in to put the balls away and discovers $50,000 in cash.
Wow.
That is Michael's game fund.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun. Didn't need to use it that day, though, as I understand.
How about Mike Ditka? You have a story from a fan about that.
Oh, this is a good one. A Chicagoan shared this story with us. A gentleman was entertaining business clients from out of town, wanted to give him the full Chicago experience, took him to Ditka's restaurant, had a lavish meal. I think if I recall correctly from the story, the tab came to about $700.
Okay.
Later on in the meal, the server comes back to the table and says, "Mr. Ditka had just entered the restaurant. Would you like an autograph from the coach?" And of course, they said, "Well, yeah, of course, we'd love that." So she returned a few minutes later with a signed menu from Mr. Ditka and a revised bill with an extra $50 charge.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I don't believe that about him.
All right, Oprah.
Oh, yeah, please.
Oprah, again, some good stories about Oprah on iFollo. This one in particular that you're referencing is from a server in Manhattan who waited on Oprah and said she was a bad tipper.
I don't believe
She
that.
had a $400 tab. Presumably she was not there alone. And tipped $40, 10%. Now, $40 still a great tip, but still.
When you're a big celebrity, don't you have, there's handlers that are doing that for you sometimes, and you don't even know that's happening, maybe. I can't believe you should give a bad
How dare you criticize Oprah? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. We'll see. All right, so we have some pictures now, or we continue? Charo, you got
I think we have some of the pictures of the people who sent in the stories now. So.
Okay.
Yes, Charo, this is a great piece. This is a segment producer, this woman from a local news affiliate in Miami who met Charo when she was in to do the morning news program some time ago. And Charo, I don't know if you've met her. I've met her before. She's a wonderful lady who's always more interested in you than you probably are in her. So she started inquiring about this woman's life, family life, and asked if children were on the agenda, and she said no, they weren't. Charles said, "Oh, yes, they are." And nearly a year to that date, this woman who sent in the story welcomed her first baby boy into the world.
So Charo is psychic.
Wow.
So, yeah, skip the tarot cards. Call Charo. Look her up.
Celine, I think, is our next story.
Celine Dion. You know, you hear a lot of stories about Celine Dion being a diva. And I've heard Dales in the industry that she's not. And I'm really pleased to see stories like this turning up on iFollo, because these fans, these girls that wrote in, were attending Celine's Christmas concert at Rockefeller Plaza some time ago. And after the fact, they kind of lingered, hung around, and who did they find at a cafeteria table sitting with a small entourage? Celine Dion. Celine came over, talked with him for the longest time, took photos, signed autographs, and was a real gem.
Huh. All right, so if people have stories or if they have their own celebrity sightings and pictures, they send it to iFollo.
iFollo.com.
And you'll see him on there doing a little video update and talking to the fans. Thanks so much, Michael.
Thank you.
Good to
Pleasure
see you.
catching up with you.
Good to see you.
Been a long time.
And what have you done with your life? He's accomplished more in 10 years than you've done in...
I know, that's why I'm giving him my resume as soon as we hit the commercial break.